There's been some discussion this week about Justice Alito's speech before the Federalist Society. If you haven't either seen, watched, or heard about that speech, I suggest that you look at it because I think it is very important.
It pains me to say this, but in certain quarters, religious liberty is fast becoming a disfavored right.
Now, he's actually been criticized for giving a speech on tolerance and respecting one another's views and listening to different opinions. There's some irony in that, of course. If you didn't see it, number one, he did something that I think is very important. A brief was filed in the United States Supreme Court within the last year from United States senators on the left, literally threatening the court if they didn't do what they wanted them to do on the Second Amendment. That is wholly inappropriate. It is an abuse of the separation of powers, and I am thankful that Justice Alito came out and said that it was inappropriate, that it was an affront to the Constitution and the rule of law, and he called that out. And I think that's one of the themes about this that's so very important. Not only that Justice Alito spoke to this, he also spoke to free speech, the importance of religious freedom and how it was becoming a second-class right with what people were doing, as well as the attacks coming from COVID.
All sorts of things can be called an emergency or disaster of major proportions. Simply slapping on that label cannot provide the ground for abrogating our most fundamental rights.
He even used the real examples like the Nevada case where he said, there is a First Amendment right to religious freedom, but there is no First Amendment right to casinos and blackjack tables, etc. So I think he made his points very strongly. The most important point of all to me, though, is that we're in a culture right now that is trying to bully people into silence. They tried to intimidate the court, as Justice Alito was talking about. They're trying to do it with COVID. It's what we call the woke culture or the cancel culture. The only way to stop that is to stand up to the bully, to speak out, even though you may be criticized. I think Justice Alito's model is a model for all of us, and I think it's very important. If we're going to have free speech, if we're going to have religious freedom, if we're going to have an independent judiciary, we have got to have people speaking up against these attempts to really pervert our system of government and to take away our freedoms. This is a very important moment. I am so grateful that we have justices like Justice Alito on the United States Supreme Court, but it's really a message for all of us. We have to speak up. We have to stand up. We can't allow our freedoms to be taken away for our children and our grandchildren. Thank you for being a part of First Liberty and what we're doing in this battle. That's the very battle we're in right now, and we plan to win. God bless you.